Yes guys, welcome back to TGS F1. Today we're doing our 2021 bold predictions video inspired by, in part, Lawrence Barretto's article from today's F1 News, where he put out his bold predictions off the back of a lot of Twitter recommendations that F1 got the other week. Now, I did do this video last year trying to predict things that are a little bit more out there rather than just, predicting where people are going to finish in the drivers, where the constructors are going to finish, who's going to win races. Some more out there predictions, but that might still happen based on the best evidence we have available to us today, way before the season has started, on a day where unfortunately they have announced the Australian GP will not be happening. But let's forget about that sad news. Let's go on to some future news, some future predictions, and these are the TGS F1 top 5 bold predictions for the 2021 season. In at 5, Sergio Perez will win 2 races this season. Now, he won his first F1 race last season in that Aston Martin. He has now replaced Alexander Albon and is in much better machinery at the top end of the grid. And for me, the reason that I think Sergio is going to be capable of winning 2 races, bearing in mind Red Bull and Max Verstappen only won that many this season anyway, and haven't had a different F1 winner than Max for a couple of seasons now, is that he has shown time and time again that he can get the absolute most out of that car. And we saw that when Max Verstappen was doing that this season, he was beating the Mercedes, he was splitting Lewis, he was splitting Bottas, he was heading to finish ahead of Bottas at one point in the standings, but for a couple of unfortunate events. And I think that Sergio has that same knack of being able to get so much out of the car, and for me, any mistake up front that normally would be capitalised on by Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez is going to be there as well, and he is no slouch. Despite the fact that the team is pretty much obviously built around Max Verstappen, I don't think Red Bull are going to call off Sergio Perez if he proves to be quicker than Max at any given track. So let's see what happens there. But for me, bold prediction number 1 is that Sergio Perez, the Mexican, will win 2 races this year. In at 4, Mick Schumacher will score points on his F1 debut. Now, you only have to look at the likes of George Russell to see how difficult it is to score F1 points at all in a terrible car. And the Haas, let's not pull anything away from it. That is a bad car, but Mick Schumacher is a very talented driver, just like George Russell is a very talented driver and was stuck in that Williams not scoring points. But there's something about the Schumacher name being back in Formula 1. I believe in a little bit of the magic and the story and the mysticism that this type of thing can bring. So for me, Mick Schumacher on his debut, which probably won't be the Australian Grand Prix by the sounds of things, will score points for Haas, and it might be their only bloody points of the season. 3, Carlos Sainz will finish ahead of Charles Leclerc in the World Drivers' Championships this year. Leclerc headed into his 3rd season with Ferrari, midway through his super long contract to be the top dog really at the Italian team. But Carlos Sainz is so consistent. Something with Charles Leclerc has been in qualifying and has shown that he could consistently get the best out of the car, but he hasn't been the sort of consistent performer throughout the career in terms of constantly hitting those top level performances that they need, and Carlos has proved at McLaren. So for that reason, Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque, will finish behind his new Spanish teammate Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari this year, and what a result for Carlos that would be. In at 2, I'm actually pinching one from Lawrence Barretto. I agree with him. I think McLaren will win a race in 2021. They've got the brand new Mercedes engine in the back. That's going to give them a little bit more pace around some of the circuits that maybe they were lacking last year. They seem to have sorted out their aero package. The team is on that massive upward trajectory, and now they have a 7-time Grand Prix winner Daniel Ricciardo in that car, something they didn't have last year when they got very close with a couple of podiums, and Daniel got himself on the podium in that Renault, which clearly wasn't up to the pace of some of the cars, and not just capitalising on unfortunate events and some things that go wrong for other teams. I genuinely think McLaren will be a force for more regular podiums this year, and when those mistakes do happen, or when we get rain, or when we get an odd safety car or something crazy like that that could put them in the position to win, I think probably Daniel Ricciardo with his experience will get it, but I do think that Mercedes engine powered McLaren will win a race in 2021. And in at 1, the biggest one, George Russell will finish the season in that Mercedes car. We had all the drama last year at the Sakir Grand Prix where he came in, should have won it, still heartbroken, don't want to talk about it too much. But George Russell, and here's where I think that's going to come in, I don't think Mercedes owe Valtteri Bottas anything, and I don't think Valtteri Bottas is going to compete again at the top level. I think he struggled to compete with Max Verstappen a lot last season. He's now got to contend with Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, which is a much better 1-2 combination for the Red Bull team. And I think running through to the end of his contract, which is at the end of this season, Mercedes are going to start looking to someone else anyway. They're going to start looking to George Russell. Valtteri, if he is fourth in the constructors or below, and that's pretty much secured, I wouldn't be surprised if for the last race as a minimum, maybe even the last couple, George Russell finds himself in that car. It's on Valtteri Bottas' shoulders. I think it depends on him doing poorly as opposed to George doing anything in the Williams, because I don't think that car is going to be able to show itself as anything other than a back marker as per the last couple of years. But Valtteri Bottas, this one's on you, mate. You need to perform, or George Russell is going to nab your seat and be in it for the last 2, maybe 3, probably 1, probably realistically no races in 2021. But that's my bold prediction. Let me know yours in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. What's a bit of an out there suggestion or theory that you have for 2021? When are we even going to go racing? That could be your biggest bold prediction. Predict when we're actually going to race, because we've already had some COVID causes of cancellations again in Australia, which is a shame. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you on the next one.